Scars are not shame, they're sacred ground, proof that healing can still be found. We don't hide our wounds here, we tend. We teach what it means for broken to bend. This is beauty in ashes, and you're not alone. Here we turn silence into a home. Each tear becomes a drop of truth. Each truth becomes a sacred root. We teach the soul to breathe again, to walk, to speak, to rise, to mend. You are not your trauma, you are not your past. Let it rot. You are love, you are light, you are soul reborn. You're the calm in the eye of your own storm.
On beauty and ashes, we say your name. We hold your pain. We light the path until you can walk it on your own. And even then, you're never truly alone. Beauty in ashes, freedom and truth, healing for elders, healing for youth. This is our platform, our prayer, our stage. This is our reckoning, our sacred love. Hey everybody. Sorry about that. So I was trying something new and I wanted to show some videos that my guests had on TikTok, but apparently the sound does not want to work tonight. So that's fine. We'll just entertain you with our thoughts and our ideas. So, could you all welcome Sam and Alicia? If we get them out here. There they are. Hi guys.
Hi.
What
So
saying? I didn't. You couldn't hear it either.
Oh no, you know what? They've been doing that. Every once in a while, the videos when we try to put them on, there's no sound, and we don't know why. We're trying to figure that out. So, sorry about that. Technical difficulties. So I know a lot of you guys know Sam because she's been on as a guest before, and a lot of you I know follow her on TikTok. And Alicia is also from TikTok. I cross paths with her. She goes by Silence by the System there, and she tells her story. So I kind of wanted to talk about, just being vulnerable, and I wanted to kind of share a little bit of your stories tonight. But apparently, the videos are not going to work, so we're just gonna do this by scratch. So both of these lovely ladies share their stories, and they are both so vulnerable and so honest. And I think that there's a lot of strength in that, and I think there's a lot of beauty in that. And so I kind of wanted to share with everybody tonight that, it's okay to be broken, it's okay to be struggling, and it's okay to be hurting. Um, and your tears are worthy to be heard and seen. And so I kind of just wanted to have a little bit of a conversation to kind of be kind of a supportive thing. I've had a low week. I know there's a lot of people out here having a low weeks. So, Sam, I know that you have to leave early tonight. So, do you have some words of wisdom that you would like to share on this topic tonight?
You mentioned being vulnerable.
Yeah.
I, that's key. There's something. My experience is there's something very magical that happens when you're vulnerable. When you step out of your comfort zone and overcome fear. Basically, is what you're feeling. The core emotion, I think, is fear. And that and shared my story. It was very uncomfortable at first, but and back I got and the connections I made with people, and just I've experienced it on TikTok and in my support group. And when I share, it's something magical happens. I think it's connecting with people. I think is
Mm-hmm.
that.
Yeah. I think that we're stronger together, especially when we can share in our pain and how we're feeling about a lot of these things. We're a very vulnerable demographic in society. We're very isolated, we're very unseen, we're very unsupported. Women, moms, dads, families who go through CPS, we're often bullied. We're told that we're hiding things, that we can't possibly be telling the whole story. We're told that there has to be a reason why our children have been taken from us or why our families are destroyed. And we get a lot of flack, and we get a lot of derision, and a lot of anger, and a lot of suspicion. And that's such a hard thing to live with. So, and I know, Alicia, you've also experienced a lot of this. I've gone through a few of your videos. I haven't gone through all of them yet.
Yeah, it's such a risk when you're making the decision to, like you said, like we're under so much scrutiny at baseline. So, like as a community, so it's such a risk when you decide to, share those moments, share those feelings and things like that. But I think that it's so important in order for like you to even process it, because like I can definitely say like me deciding to, share this publicly and be vulnerable with other people, like it's helped me process it better, because like, um it's a and I'm sure you guys can relate. It's like a different level of vulnerability that you have to um I guess, express when you're deciding to share your story, past your community of your support system. And like it really does, like it takes a lot of energy, but it's also a different level of healing. And like I said, like it helps me process like things better, because I'm choosing to just like share at that level, because like especially with like us being such a marginalized community, if you don't like let it out, then it will show up in other ways, like being like silenced in this way and feeling like you can't speak up for yourself, like that will manifest and show itself in so many different ways in your life that you wouldn't expect it to. So yeah, it's very, very, very important um, to be vulnerable. And you touched on like every single point about how it feels like being part of this community. Just like all of the rejection and all of the like suspicion, like you said, the I'm not sure, or
Mhm.
there's got to be some type of piece missing, the disbelief, even though the truth is stranger than fiction 99% of the time.
Right. Yeah.
So
This is
yeah.
so hard. I think that there is some strength and some even some peace in being able to at least speak our truth, even if nobody hears it or understands it. I know I feel a lot more um at peace, and I have a lot more inner strength when I'm able to speak my story and my truth, even if nobody believes me or understands what it is. And honestly, I don't I don't expect people to understand. And there's a part of me that doesn't want them to be able to understand, because I would not wish this on anybody. Like this is not an easy road to walk. So, and that's it's very difficult. What do
Well,
you
I encourage all moms to share their story when they're ready, but to really do it, like there might not be that day when you're like, oh, I feel comfortable today. I'm going to share my story. It don't really happen like that. So kind of embrace the uncomfortableness. And then when you share, it's like getting your power back, because the opposite, if you don't share and if you stay silenced and if you stay in isolation, and there with that comes a lot of self-blame and guilt, the system wins. That's what they want. They want to take your children and then you to go away and not matter or be heard, just wither away. And so I've really felt empowered by sharing my story. And I would want that feeling for all moms to stand up, and speak our truth.
Yeah, I can understand that. There's definitely something about being able to speak up.
I absolutely agree with that. You know, like for me, like as a person of color and as a woman of color and as a, mom of color, like I feel the same way as you. Like I feel like everyone should get to that point where they can be comfortable enough sharing their story. But I also know on the other end that like, even as a like minority like mother, like all of those feelings of like, all of that scrutiny is like amplified times 100. So, like I want to, hopefully be that bridge. Like, like if they don't necessarily feel comfortable like coming forward enough at that point, like I want to, because it is like you said, sound like it's so much empowerment that comes from it. I want to be able to like show them that, you know, people, like the right people will support you and believe you, but
Absolutely.
it's necessary for your healing, if that makes sense. Cause
Oh,
like I think I just posted a video today about like how much risk, how much more like risky it is, like, just like as a Black like mother coming forward with an already like scrutinized, marginalized like situation. So yeah, I absolutely agree with like every single thing that you guys are saying.
Well, and I'm glad that you brought that up because I am not a woman of color, but I support my sisters in color who are going through this because this is not something I would wish on you or anybody else. Um, but I mean, I've gotten hate comments online because I am not colored, but I'm like, well, I'm still going through the same thing you all are. and but I don't pretend to understand either the exact situation that you are all in because it is different for you and that's okay. I respect that. But anybody going out there going through it, I mean, it's not easy for any of us. It's just that we come from different perspectives and different um uh words. There it goes. All right, I blanked out. This is part of my trauma. I've explained it before. I have a lot of PTSD, and so I will just blank out on words as I'm talking.
Same.
So forgive me. I
No,
know
absolutely same.
a lot of you
Same.
understand. It's hard. So, but yeah, sharing, coming together, connecting. I love having guests on my show because I think it gives all of us different connections that we can kind of plug into and we can kind of group together in a way for each other. And I just love that so much.
I'm so sorry I ended up getting a call like in between, but I'm
Oh,
back. I'm sorry.
you're fine. We're easy going. It's all good. So yeah, so I had a really low week. I don't know about anybody else. I know that a lot of the people who've hung out here know that I've been getting a lot of harassment and retaliation from Kentucky over the case that we filed, and now Kentucky is also involved. And so I actually got served papers this last week. I have to show up to court to determine whether or not I'm a fit mother now. And this is after being cleared by 2 state courts to say that I'm not an issue. So that's great. All because I sent caseworkers away. So I've been having a really good week, and I'm just like, you know what? We just need a mental health support week because I'm not the only one. There's other mothers and fathers out here who have filed already in federal court who are also getting retaliated against. And I just want to be here to encourage everybody that the system wants your brokenness. They want your pain. They want your tears. They want your everything. When it comes down to it, they're taking everything anyway. And if you have nothing left to lose, what do you have to lose? It's really what it comes down to. So I'm like, I mean, you really want me to fight harder? I'm already fighting so hard. Do you want me to fight harder? Because I will fight harder. Like, I'm in this all the way already. So, but I had a really rough day, and I admit that I gave in to the fear and the stress and the just immediate, like when your nervous system just takes over and you can't get out of it. And I actually personally I find that ashwagandha is a fantastic holistic herbal help to my body and support to pull me out of that just extreme um nervous system situation. And I was able to kind of pull myself out of it, and I was able to kind of look at the situation more fully. And I realized that, I mean, they really have nothing. So I'm not worried about it at this point, but it was a rough week. Yes, Alicia, they want me silent and submissive. They want all of us silent and submissive. Just be a good little girl and shut your mouth and go about your life and forget we exist and forget your children exist and forget your husband exists and forget any of that. So that's been my experience this last week. Go ahead, Sam.
I just wanted to say hey to Miss Debbie. It's hard to read the comments, but I see a little bit of them, and I love her. Hi, Miss Debbie.
I love her too. Yes, Debbie, I'm a parent that cares about my children just like everybody else here. We all
I
care.
had no idea. I had no idea, Sharon. I have so many questions that I'll ask you later, and I'm not
Yeah,
going to
ask me later.
questions. I can't believe this, and I know you're in good hands. You got Gunner, but you're a mom, and I'm so sorry.
So actually, Gunner's kind of on the outs on this one. This one's my battle because they came to me in Kentucky now. So I'm kind of on my own with this one,
Well,
which is okay. I feel like I'm prepared and I feel confident in that. But it took me a minute of, oh crap, before I could really get there. And that's okay. Sometimes we have to take baby steps. And that is something like when you're going to share your story, when you're going to do any of these things, sometimes you have to start small and work up to the big. And I tell people all the time, I didn't just come on the scene knowing everything. We've been at this for 3 years. I've been learning, I've been listening to people, I've been researching. I've been at this for 3 years. I didn't know anything 3 years ago when this started like I do now.
I feel anger. I'm angry. I'm angry that there's just no, I mean, just the depths of what CPS will go to. Like it makes me angry.
Yes.
You
I
know?
know. I know.
You're such a good mom, and this is such clear retaliation, and I'm so sorry.
It's okay. It's not your fault. And I think we got it well in hand, hopefully. So, yeah.
And you
I
definitely handle it. That video of you at the door was very impressive. Very.
oh yes,
Mhm.
that's the one they're
Exactly.
retaliating on. So that's fun times. So I posted that and I think they're unhappy about it. But you know what? I'm a member of the press. I have my press credentials
I can't believe
and
they wrote that
have
shit.
every right to use that freedom to speak up and tell my story. And that is what I do. So
My case is closed. I know Alicia case is still open, so it's like extra brave of you to share. And I admire your passion. And um, I know you said once your case is closed, you'll do more for people, but you're already doing so much. Like, I
you are.
really admire that.
I know I've been
Thank you
really proud
guys.
of your videos. You're getting it out there. That's awesome.
When my case was open, I didn't speak out. I didn't know any of I wasn't the person I am today, let's put it that way, when I had an open case.
Yeah.
To see you empowered and knowledgeable and you still have an open case, it it it's different. So
Hmm.
I see you.
Yeah.
That means
Kidnapping is just it's like it's rampant in our country, and it's just got that extra sting of this is wrong. So
Hmm.
I
yeah.
really, really appreciate you guys saying that. Like I knew that like I was taking a huge risk, like, with it still, like with it could technically go in either direction. Like I knew I was taking a risk, but like, and you guys can probably relate to this, but like I felt like just like in my gut, like in my, like I just felt like I needed to speak out. Like, and I had felt it for so long and I tried to ignore it. And I tried to, just like wait for the next hearing and hope that they'll do the right thing. And um, things just started getting more blatant and more worse. And, just like the violations were just getting more ridiculous. And I was just like, I'm going to put it all on the line because, like, I can't let this continue. Like, it was almost as if and they probably were, but it's like they wanted me to break.
Yes.
And
Hmm.
instead of me breaking, I turned that anger into passion
Hmm.
because like, like, I still know the end goal. And I was very, 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 very close to breaking. So I just turned my phone on and I was just like, I'm pressing record and just seeing where it goes.
That's good.
I told my cousin, I told my ex-husband, I was just like, I'm filming the beginning of the story in 14 days and just posting it. I was like, I'm not giving myself more than 2 weeks. And I just like started batch filming. I did not know where it was going to go. I didn't know how many parts it was going to be, but I was just like, I've got 2 weeks to do this because if I don't do this, then I'm going to regret it. And
Mhm.
that's how, that's how it came to be. But like, it got like I've known for some years. Obviously, it's been 11 years, which is unheard of and ridiculous. But I started realizing that, it's they're going to stretch it out as long as they can and they want to, because they got so comfortable that they didn't think that they got so comfortable with our fear of speaking up, with our fear of like doing anything.
Yeah.
Just because like the attorneys beat us down, they told us like, to be scared of these people, our own attorneys that we got rid of. Family was just scared, like, oh well, they'll retaliate, all those different things, and
Oh,
we got beat down, and they knew that we were beat down. I could file as many appeals or as many, motions that I wanted to, but they were just gonna dig in harder because they could. So
yeah.
I had to do something else, because it was just like I'm reaching out to all these different people, and the only people willing to help are doctors. None of the press, like after our interview got scrapped with WGN, like none of the press, like other than like small publications, wanted to get involved. So I was just like, I got to take it into my own hands.
Yeah. I think you've done a great job. And I have to say, because I've been doing this for a little while now, and I have my eye out in a sense. Like I look for certain things in people, especially that I want to have on the show, or that like I see. And there are certain people that stick out in a very specific way. And I don't know what it is. I don't know if it's like just a gut feeling, your aura. Like there's just so much strength and beauty in the way that some of you are able to speak up and speak out, and you're just able to articulate what's going on, and you're able to, but at the same time you're also reaching out to give other people a hand up. And I think that that is amazing, and I look for those things in people because those are the people I want around me in this fight. And I know other people do too, and I send people to Sam's page all the time. She doesn't know that I've started tagging you, Alicia, in people's videos. Like there's certain people that just stand out to me that I'm like, okay, people need to know about these people, because these people are going to be the ones that they can go to talk to. They're the ones that they can go to have support. They're the ones that they can go to. And to me, like it's all about building a community. I can only help so many people at a time. I'm only one person. You can only help so many people at a time. You're only one person. But if we all are interacting together and, tag teaming in a sense, like you just know, like I just know you're people I can send people to if I can't that day. And I look for that. And I think that that is an amazing thing, because I know y'all didn't start out that way, because I know I didn't start out that way. We were beat down, we were broken, we were silenced, we were confused, we were angry, we were just heartbroken. Like we couldn't at first. So when I say these things, y'all, like we don't expect everybody to be at the same level. This takes time to work up to, and you have to do the healing work yourself. Like you don't heal overnight enough to be able to do these things. You have to do a lot of hard work to get here. And I know a lot of you out there are doing it, and it's impressive. And I think that that is a beautiful thing, because a community that can heal even in their own brokenness is going to do powerful, amazing things.
Uh, somebody said to me that they wish they knew me when they had an open case, and I said, I wish I knew me when I had an open case. I was totally not who I am today. I really do wish that and wish I knew then what I know now. So it is a journey.
Yeah, it's true. A lot of us didn't have anybody. I had nobody. In my family, I was thankful I had supportive family. Not everybody has that, and I recognize that. But I had supportive family that were at least willing to hear me out and be supportive of me and the kids as we went through it, despite the nature of the case that we were going through. Despite the suspicions and the questions and the nonsense, they were still willing to support us. And I am so forever thankful for that. And as time has gone by and they've understood, they've seen more of the system and how it's working, I have a lot more understanding than where we started. And I have to say, I'm not sorry for the people that I have come in contact with, because some of y'all have been amazing friends and supporters too. And I tell Gunnar all the time, I'm like, I feel like we're collecting limited editions in our friends because they're also very unique. Like, y'all are also very unique, and I love that. I'm like, I want all the limited editions. Yes, Alicia, we all start off feeling alone. And yeah, it's definitely easier when we have people that we can talk to. Even just talking. Like, when I know I can pick up the phone and contact so and so and so and so, and they'll listen to me and they'll understand because they've been through it themselves. There's something about that that is just very unique. And those of us who've gone through these cases have practically gone through the same things, the same types of trauma, the same, even though our cases are so different, the trauma is the same.
I do have to go.
Okay.
I would have talked about not so much about well, not to I want to leave with the words saying that everyone's story matters, and
Yes, it does.
my relationship with God is very much a part of my healing journey, and I feel like um my like and I feel like God is always someone I can turn and talk to when I didn't have anybody to, and my faith gets me through this, and very much so. But I don't want to leave y'all. Thank you for having me though.
Oh, thanks
Um,
for coming. I always love having you around.
thank you. Thank
Thanks.
you. Y'all be good.
Thank you so
Bye.
much.
Have a good shift, hon.
Yes, thank you.
I'll talk to you later.
Bye, girl.
All right, it's just you and me. So, what sort of things would you want somebody, like, if you just had like a few minutes and you had one chance to tell somebody something like that's going through this, what would you want them to know?
Oh my gosh, that is a great introspective question. Um, First and foremost, I would say that you will find the absolute most peace if you live and exist within your truth, because the system will try to gaslight you and they will try to strip your truth from you to almost make you crazy. And um, one of one of the things that's also always um, given me peace throughout, even though, there's been so many times where I have like very obviously like reacted to everything that they've done against me. But
So fair.
yeah, like, one thing that has always recentered me is standing within my truth, regardless of the implications of that. Just because, you know, like my children are involved and they need the actual truth and not what they're being told and not what's palatable to make CPS money or DCFS money or all these people money. Um, and that's the piece that's carried me. Um, like that's like the number one thing I would say. But you know, Second thing I would say is do not let them steal all of your joy, because that is all they want. There were so many times that my demeanor was, because every time I'm around my children, obviously I'm happy. So, because I wasn't crying, or, like, because I'm not going to show them my vulnerability. If I have them watching me, I'm not going to give them my vulnerability. There are so many times that they would scrutinize the joy that I had and try to do and say things to steal it from me, try to ruin those because they're sitting there watching you, which also feels inhumane, and it feels like you're in the zoo. But they would steal those precious moments and just try to steal moments. There would be times where I'm like, holding, one of my kids and like singing to them, or just like rocking them back and forth, and someone is just saying something to me on purpose, like, oh, you have 10 minutes left. I'm having a moment where like I'm putting my child to sleep on my like yeah, on my chest, like literally. And I'm being told, oh, you have 10 minutes, as if number one, I don't have a clock in front of me. And, number two, they could have waited. Um, so, I would say don't don't let them steal your joy because they want your joy.
Yeah.
They're in the system is full of energy vampires, and
Energy vampires. I love that. I really
yeah.
do. That's amazing. You're not wrong.
Like they like do those things to where, and I lost myself so many times, so I'm speaking from experience, especially because it's been so many years. But like, find your way back to yourself, because that'll fuel you in the fight. Don't let them let you lose yourself, um, and become somebody that you wouldn't have been before the trauma, because it's very easy. It's very easy to become bitter and angry. The PTSD that we all have is enough. Like it's
Isn't
hard
it though?
enough. Yeah, like it's hard enough to try to explain why, I can't work a full-time job for real, because I have PT, like that's hard
It's
enough
hard.
to explain.
Yeah.
Um, so, or, like there are certain industries I can't work in because of the trauma. So, um, don't let them let you lose yourself even more,
Mhm.
because you'll still have to pick up those pieces once everything's over. And that's where the real work is.
I think that's amazing. Thank you. That's wonderful advice. I needed to hear that too. So thank you. It's so true though. I mean, like this system just like robs you of every good thing that is a you, that is your family, that is your children. Like they rob you of every good thing, and it's extremely difficult to stay standing some days, and it's extremely difficult to get out of bed some days. And I think so. My personal, I know we haven't talked too much, but my personal situation is I'm separated from my husband. We're not allowed to live together because there's a restraining order against him. He can't be around my kids. So I had to choose. And I chose my kids because, hello, they're my children. And he's been so supportive and understanding that I appreciate that about him. And we've just been fighting this together, separated. Um, but so for me, it's a little bit different. But because of the situation I had been in before I met my husband, I was a widow. So being a widow and then having another husband stolen just in a different way, that's a whole nother type of trauma. And so that's been my trauma and story. So it's a little bit different from a lot of people's, but it's still there. And it's just like the system does not want you to have anything good in your life. It really doesn't. It does not want to have it wants you to have anything good in your life. It wants you stripped, broken, naked, silent. No, they don't want you to have anything left But then they're going to force you to go to work because you got to pay child support, or you got to pay your bills, or you got to pay. So like one way or the other, they're going to get the last everything out of you until the day you die. So that is what we are about. I mean, we're fighting tooth and nail here, people. And I know there's a lot of you out there who have been filing cases and stuff, and I love to see it. And you know, they always say the night is darkest before the dawn. And I feel like in a sense we're kind of there in a way with this, because CPS has gotten so active. They've taken so many kids that parents are speaking up and finding each other and going, this happened to me too. We know people who had the same caseworker as us in that county. I think 3 different families with the same caseworker, same types of issues. Like they're so active that people are finding each other to say, huh, we had the same casework. Hey, did you have that problem? I had that problem too. This is a problem. And you know, we're connecting, and they don't like that we're connecting. They don't like that we're talking. They don't like that we're figuring some things out. And they're retaliating. They're retaliating hard. But I think they're retaliating hard because they're scared and they know that we're on to them and we're not going to quit. And so, you know, it's like cornering a wild animal that's injured. They know it's coming. They don't want it to come, but it's coming.
And also, a lot of those caseworkers and people like that, they are scared because they know what they did was so wrong and they don't want to face the music. So instead of fessing up and saying, hey, I made a mistake because I was exhausted and bitter, they will just retaliate and lie to further cover their tracks.
Oh, yeah. Absolutely. Oh, yeah, Alicia, they've taken so many kids, they don't even have placements for them. She just sent me something today, Alicia did. A bunch of teens living in the basement of a church, because that's better for them than living with some sort of family somewhere. Like, hello, please explain that to me. I don't understand that at all. So yeah, and I know you are up Illinois way. Chris, if you're still in the comments, if you haven't run into Alicia on TikTok, I sent her to your TikTok. She's up your way. She wrote my song for my show, but she's
Oh,
cool.
that song was beautiful.
I know, that gives me chills every time. I love that song so much. But if she's still here in the comments, she's up your way. I think you guys should connect somehow.
Definitely. And yeah, CPS and DCFS in Illinois is, you
Illinois
can,
is one of the top. So Georgia's probably top 3. It might be the worst, actually. I'm not gonna lie. From our research, Georgia, Illinois, Alabama lately. I don't know what is going on in Alabama, but holy heck. So, but I mean, but these parents who are going through it are finding us. And that's the greatest thing, because, you know, we're all talking and sharing stories. We're figuring some things out, and they know it and they don't like it. And I think, actually, I want to bring this up. I wonder, are your kids in foster care? Do you know the foster family at all?
know them is a very, very
You're
loose. They were strangers prior, if that makes sense.
okay. Well, yes. So, I was talking about this with somebody. Okay, so what I'm noticing, I seem to notice a pattern because we share so much CPS on TikTok. My FYP gets filled with caseworkers and foster families now, which is interesting. but
Sorry, I've got to watch my face.
I know. But okay, so I'm noticing a pattern. I would love to get feedback on this because I'm keeping an eye on this. Parents are over here going, reunification is not the goal. I went through absolutely everything they asked of me, and they're still not giving me my kids back. There's something wrong there. Foster families are on the other side going, reunification is always the goal. That's always what we look towards. And I'm sitting here like, well, who's the middleman telling parents one thing and telling foster parents the other thing? Foster parents are not your enemy. so to speak. At least they don't start off that way. Some of them become that way. But foster families in general are lied to just as much as bio families are lied to. And
But
CPS is,
they don't think the difference is they don't
they
think
don't
they are
understand it.
be,
They don't. Yeah.
because they're being paid and they're like, why would, I'm getting paid. Why would they lie to me? They like me. I'm the good guy. They're the bad guy. Why would they tell me, you know, the wrong thing? And so also they don't like to believe us when we say that they do not want reunification because they're being lied to. So that like makes
Mm-hmm.
them dig in deeper and just be like, no, like that's always the goal. Like, why do you think like you're in services? And it's just like,
Right.
there's
Well,
just,
they think the same thing that most people think. Like, there's a reason your kid was taken, and you need to fix yourself. But we're telling you otherwise. And no, they don't necessarily want to listen because you know why? Is they have to jump through all the hoops, they have to go through all the trainings, and they have to sign the rights away that we're all fighting to maintain. They don't realize that that's what they're doing, but that's exactly what they're doing. But I found it interesting because it's almost as if like we're two flip sides of the same coin, just opposite directions. And you can kind of see the pattern. And that was fascinating to me because, well, I'm interested in psychology and sociology. So it's just kind of interesting to watch like what's going on in our corner of the universe. And that's kind of the pattern that I'm noticing with foster families is they all just think that parents are working towards reunification, but then when it doesn't happen, CPS just tells them, "Oh well, it was failed."
and it's so I like to, you're absolutely right. I like to think of it almost like, okay, very, very loose association. But I like to think of it almost as like the Stanford prison experiment,
Mm.
when you kind of like, assign somebody as the prisoner, assign somebody as the cop, and they assume the role as the cop. And they're not realizing that they're a part of the experiment as well. But they
Oh,
are taking that on that position of power. Um,
that's a fascinating correlation.
yeah. Yeah,
I
like that like
agree.
superiority complex that they take on when they're like housing other people's children. It's just like, like, oh well, they chose me, like, I'm in charge. Like they obviously like, I don't speak
Huh.
about this on my page out of respect for my children and my children only, but because that's where they're being cared for, and I don't want any crazy people on the internet to dox.
Oh, absolutely.
Um, but
We are live
um,
in several countries, by the way, just so you know.
you said what?
I said we are live in several countries, just FYI.
Oh no, that's fine. But the foster parent has said some very crazy things to me that obviously I can't respond to, like I can't respond as if we're in the streets, even if we are in the
Right.
streets, like
Yep.
I just have to just sit there and like, like I've been screamed at by her like unprovoked in front of her attorney, in front of like, the guardian ad litem. And I'm just like, you're not realizing that you are part of this experiment as well. Like, you're a pawn that they
Yep.
are successfully using. And,
That's a
like,
fantastic observation, girl. Like, I'm, I can see it. That's, yeah. I think you're onto something there.
yeah, so a lot of them, like, because I see a lot of people's comments. Like, there was one video I posted that very loosely related to the grand scheme of things. It was just a question of like, do I still see my children? And it somehow got a lot of traction. Then I realized because somehow what I was saying was so controversial to foster parents because they just couldn't fathom that what I was saying was true. Like,
Yeah. Well, no, because they're on the other side, and that was actually something. So, my mom actually said this to me. So we had a friend, a very dear friend, who absolutely beautiful person. They foster adopted, And my mom says to me the other day, she says, well, they didn't have a bad experience with CPS. I'm like, Mom, they're on the other side of the fence. Of course they did not have a bad experience with CPS. And she just kind of stops and looks at me. She's like, oh. Like, that's really what it comes down to. There's no difference between a foster family and me, except they went through the training and signed their rights away. So a little piece of paper. There's no difference between me and a caseworker, except a little piece of paper and their employer. There's just not. There's nothing there except what the state says is there.
They also don't like to hear that though,
No, they
because
don't.
again, the assumed implied position of power.
Correct.
That's all it is.
And that's great. I love that. Yes, Alicia, I see you down there. I will put you in contact with Alicia so Alicia and Alicia can talk. Love that you both have the same name. That's great.
Makes it very easy to remember.
I think she's also helping or trying to help somebody up your way. Somebody who's having issues up there.
Yeah, I used to oh sorry, what did you say?
Mm-hmm. Oh, I was saying these states are just like the more and more, and I think it's because of what we do, but I hear stories all day, every day from different places in the country, and it's just they get more and more insane by the day, like insane. Like if you were just a normal person on the side of the road and said, hey, this stranger came up to me out of nowhere and just told me I needed to hand my kid over and had like there was nothing there, like who's gonna hand their kid over to a stranger just because the stranger says you have to, because this other stranger said you like that doesn't even make sense in my head. And that's why, like, I posted those videos about the caseworkers coming here and I got a lot of flack on the internet, like, you're hiding something, da 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 da. And it's like, no, those are my children. How do I know that these strangers coming up to the door with just a little name card aren't like kidnappers? Or, how do I know they don't keep children in their basements? Like, I don't know anything about these people. Why am I going to give them access to my children when I don't have to? That's nonsense. I wouldn't do it with some Joe off the street. Like, it's really insane when you really look at it.
And a lot of people also don't understand their rights.
True.
What was I going to say to that? Oh, speaking of different states and everything that's going on in different states, I have had a lot of mothers contact me about parental alienation cases, which is just like
Huge right now.
it's huge and it's shocking and it's ridiculous. And I money. I mean, obviously
Well, it
it's
is
the
funny.
money, but
I think the state encourages it, but I also think that that's a societal issue because we are so divided in every possible way that you've got men against women, husbands against wives, adults against children, vice versa. You've got black against white, for lack of better terms. Like, I don't care, you are who you are. But you've got this little group over here and you've got this group over here, you've got the religions all fighting, you've got just different jobs all fighting, like careers, and we're just divided in every possible way you could possibly divide a nation. And we live that every day as if that's normal.
exactly.
But it's not normal. That's not how life is supposed to be. That's not how we're supposed to be living. Like, why? It makes no sense.
I
And
agree.
that's what I love about our community, because we're all different people from different backgrounds, from different perspectives, from different um, states, and we've all experienced the same thing, different ways, but the same thing. The trauma is the same. And if there's one thing that I am willing to stand with absolutely anybody on, it's my children. So we have this one thing that has the potential to unite absolutely everybody in the nation to the point that we could so easily filter out the people who are not standing for the children. We can hold them accountable. We could do it. And I think people are starting to kind of wake up to that a little bit and figure that out. Go ahead.
Yep. So they're trying to get, the system is trying to get more creative in the things that they do and more powerful and more retaliatory and instill more fear because once, there's momentum, they're not as big of a monster as they have been in the past.
Exactly.
And that's what they don't want because that, money's driving it.
Money is driving it, but their power is also an illusion that people are starting to see through. And they're starting to lose their power, and they know it. Their grip on power is waning because people are waking up. We are learning our rights. We are standing on our rights, and we're not going to be told no. So, you can try as much as you want, but we, the people, are gaining traction. We are finding something to unite on, and we are working towards a bigger goal at this point. And more and more people every day are waking up to it, which is fantastic. And, I hope and pray for more for sure.
I agree. I absolutely agree.
Yeah. So we're about to wrap up. It's about time. Gunnar, are you back there? Can you start song and wrap us up? Do you have any last minute words that you would like to give to everybody?
I thank you for having me on here. It's definitely a privilege to be able to, interact with a community that truly understands. And I guess I will give you words of encouragement to let your peace and living in your truth guide you. Don't be consumed or affected. I mean, briefly, just to kind of let, process it, go through it. But don't be consumed by the negativity because you are living a positive experience and you're helping so many of us.
All right.
And we appreciate you.
Thank you. And for all of you out there, I'm going to say it because I said it before and I'll keep saying it. Your children need you to take care of you. Your children need you to be strong, to be fighting. Your children need you to do the best that you can for you. And even if you don't get to see them for years and years on end, you'll still be able to turn around and tell them when they come to find you for answers. You will be able to tell them, I did absolutely everything I knew how to do that was in my power to do to fight. And there is power in that. So keep being encouraged, y'all. Working towards that goal and take care of yourself. Need support or help or whatever, we're here. And need even more help and support, there are professionals out there. So don't hesitate to ask help when you need it. So, good night, y'all.
But Sharon brings beauty from the ashes, teaching the family.